because it's not feasible. And far as the water is concerned, yes, and they move all the storm drains back beyond that, well, it just not a feasible deal. And I support every one of them people that talked. So that's it.
Thank you, Steve. Mike Fink.
My name is Mike Fink. I live at 519 2nd Street Northeast. My concern is about the resolution about the Jefferson School. It's the first I've heard about it. I don't know what it's all about. I tried to talk to my council person, Denny, over here. He walked away from me this afternoon, wouldn't tell me much about it. So I'd like to find out what it is that you guys are doing in secret and not telling people about.
Well, what it is
Who brought up this resolution? Whose resolution is it?
one of the council. What it is we had a task force that looked at City Hall. That's how it started. And one of the places they looked at was the old school building for City Hall and Police Department. And at that time, we met with school board and Mr. Mike Donnelly, and they brought people in looking at what it would cost to go into that building. Repairs needed for pipes, repairs needed for ductwork, repairs needed for heating, repairs needed for electrical, repairs needed for roofing.
What'd they come up with?
We stopped at about 700, approaching $1 million. And that was not, no modernization, no remodeling, nothing. That was just the cost of going to the building. And so we stopped right there. And now the aquatic committee has looked at it because they were looking at something which they'll have to explain, but that's using it for a bathhouse. But the council that brought it up was they put it aside because they didn't want to use the building, put that much money into it, and so that's what the resolution is about.
Did you have any public input into this? Or is it
Council.
just the council?
We had
Has it been
people.
in the paper? I looked in the paper this last week. Was it in the newspaper? Is anything about the resolution in the paper?
About the resolution in the paper? No.
Yeah, about this resolution that you're going to discuss tonight.
Not that I know of.
All right. Were the results for the task force, was that in the paper?
Couldn't tell you. That was a long time ago.
All right. All right. Well, I'd like to see you guys be a little more open, discuss this. Otherwise, I have to listen to people discuss it at the bar because that's where it seems that all the time, the only time I get any information from you people. And my council person doesn't discuss much with me.
I answered your questions, Mike. Every question you asked me.
You walked away from me.
Well, we thought you was done asking questions. I answer every question you ask.
Was this your resolution?
No, absolutely not.
Not at all.
Mike, we're going to take up this issue of the school tonight.
Is
we've
it going
got-
to be decided tonight?
Yeah, and your questions are legitimate. I just mean that we're going to be taking it up. You're
All
going
right, well,
to
yeah,
hear all
so
of people's
is
positions.
there going to be a final decision made tonight
On this resolution, yes or no, correct?
without any other public input?
It's why, you know why you elect your council people is why you do that. If you want, say they didn't want the building, you'd have input because they'd have to have a bond to buy it, to do all the repairs and stuff to buy it.
So what's this resolution say? What's it going to do?
It's going to say if the council wants to or not to lease this building for any city project.
Is it a final?
If it passes, I don't know what to tell you, Mike. If it passes or doesn't, depends on if it passes.
Well, I'd hope you'd vote against it.
Thank you, Mike. Brad Kegler.
Hi, I'm Brad Kegler, and I'm the chairman of the Aquatic Center Committee. And just before I get started, I just want to thank you, council and the mayor, for letting me come talk tonight. As someone who was born and raised in Independence and recently moved back to town, when I heard there was discussion about the idea of a new aquatic center, I naturally got very excited. I've benefited over the years from the hard work of many of our current citizens, and I have 2 young children of my own now, and decided it was time for me to start giving back to the community. So I heard a committee was forming, and we'll be meeting soon, so I emailed Bob at Park and Rec and asked if I could be part of the project. And We've been meeting since August of 2012, and the meeting's been very long, as everyone would agree, but very productive. And after discussing the pros and cons of each potential aquatic center site, we as a committee have come up with 3 different locations that we feel would be best for the project. We're not ready to formally present any of these options at this time, as it's too early in the planning process, but when we have had sufficient time to do so, we hope to return and present our findings to each of you for your approval. If the proposed resolution on the agenda tonight is passed, it will eliminate our ability to do the job that we were asked as members of this committee to complete. On behalf of the members of the committee, I'm here to ask that this item be removed from the agenda and allow us to finish the job that we were appointed to start. We as a committee feel we owe it to the City of Independence to thoroughly research all of our available options available for this project. That being said, we also feel that the city owes it to its Aquatic Center Committee to let us continue to work together and continue to evaluate all potential sites so we can make responsible and informed decisions that will benefit the taxpayers of Independence. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Thank all of you for your comments. Move to the next item, please. Accept and approve the consent agenda that approves the following. 1, the minutes of March 25th, 2013 regular meeting. 2, the financial statements for the month of March.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Holland, second by Engen, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Need a motion of approval of the bills.
I make a motion, we approve the bills.
Motion by Schweitzer, second by Hill, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Petitions from the public. First, Chuck Ward, General Manager, Independence Light and Power, and Telecommunications, to present on contributions, donations to the city.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Chuck Ward. I'm the General Manager of Independence Light, Power, and Telecommunications. Give you just a brief history of what's going to take place tonight. On March the 4th, we had 2 meetings at the light plant. One was a special board meeting where the board approved an AMI project. Right after that meeting, we had a meeting with the Mayor's Task Force, and we discussed several different topics. The mayor asks that I come and present some information on the contributions and donations that I had commented on. I think it was in a January city council meeting. I made reference to a $5 million figure of contributions and donations over a period, I think, of about 12 years or so. I was supposed to do that as quickly as possible. Steve and I discussed that we could not pull the information together. I was supposed to talk about the donations and AMI, and that we could not pull the information together quick enough because the city council packet needed to be done 3 days after the 4th, and we just didn't have time to pull that information together. So then we moved it to the next meeting, which was March the 25th. I had a death in the family, and I was gone that week. I still was prepared to present on the 25th. Steve sent me an email and suggested that we move it to tonight in light of the death in my family, and I appreciate that, and that was helpful. So I am here tonight. Since then, we've had another board meeting at the light plant, and the board voted to stop the AMI project. So I will not be talking about the AMI project tonight. I will talk, though, about the contributions and donations. And I think you have some information in front of you. In January, the same information that you have in front of you is what I talked about. You have this graph, which shows all of the contributions and donations from 2002, and it was actually projected through 2014. So to give you an idea of where that information come from, there is a table provided that you should have with you that that breaks it down. And you can see the total then is a little bit over $5 million, and that was the reference I made back in January. So the pieces that make up the $5 million are labor and equipment